Hello everyone and welcome back to Gran Turismo 7. Towards the end of last year, a new circuit was added to the game, Road Atlanta, and it took me this long to finally complete the 3 events at the circuit. Well, the third one in particular proving much more difficult than the first 2, but we'll get to that at the end. But first we have the American FR Challenge 550, so let's do that one first. We have to, of course, get a car that is around 550 pp. The race doesn't actually apply that limit, which is a little bit strange. So we can choose the Chevy Camaro from 2016, which actually is slightly over, which is a little bit strange that PP limit is not applied. But regardless, we will go with that car and enter the race and see how this goes. I do have a little bit of experience at Road Atlanta from the Forza Motorsport games, though I have not driven around this circuit in a number of years. So yeah, I will need to relearn the circuit, but I am vaguely familiar with the layout. So away we go then. Let's see how this first race goes. We have a 3-lap race and 10 cars in the field. So yeah, let's see. We have not made any progress yet as we work our way through this snaking first section of corners. Now see if we can go for the move down the inside. We can't quite make the move there. And it's very much sort of single file, I guess, through this first section. Unless you have a good pace difference, you won't be able to make a move. We finally get the job done on the exit though, along this little mini straight. We get the job done. It's actually a bit longer than it looks. That crest was sort of disguising the second half of the straight there. But anyway, around the slight right-hander, we have a braking zone into another much sharper right-hander, and now onto a very long, slightly wonky back straight. So this will allow us to really pick up some speed and make some overtakes, and we get past our older brother there and continue to race our way down now towards the chicane. And let's see if we can grab a few more spots here before the end of the lap as we try and line up a good exit. And we've got a good mix of cars in this one, muscle cars, old and new, but we're continuing to work our way through the field, and we're up into P6 now. We may be able to make a P5 by the end of the lap. Down the inside we might be able to grab 4th position, not quite. We have to slot in behind for the time being, and we remain in P5 for now. So yeah, once again a single file through the first few corners. Not that we can really carry the same cornering speed as the Ford Sierra in front of us anyway. That car sort of seems out of place in this race, but anyway, nonetheless, I suppose that's it is sort of, you know, within the limits. But I don't know, it seems strange to see that car racing against Corvettes, Camaros and Mustangs and the like. But anyway, we continue to race our way, and we'll see if we can make the move all the way around the outside. We'll have to switch this one back to the inside, and we'll get the move done that way onto the back straights. And once we get the power down, there's no competition. Up into P4 now, finally. We've been trying to get that move done since turn 1, but we've finally gotten it done. And now once we're on the back straight, we have all the straight line speed in the world. We've got nowhere to go here. We're going to have to just lift out of it, and now we'll go for the move down the inside, 2 places at once, as we were a bit boxed in by the Mustang. But nonetheless, we've got the move done, and up into 2nd place now. The race leader is a Dodge Viper, and we should be able to get past them in the very near future. Trying to carry a bit too much speed there through the final corner, and running straight into the back of the Viper there. So that cost us a lot of momentum onto the straight. We'll see if we can still make the overtaking move somewhere early on this lap, and we've got a bit of momentum, so let's see if we can make the move here for the dive down the inside, and we're barging them out of the way, and we get the job done there, and up into the race lead. So job done there, and now we just need to push on to the end, which we do, and it's pretty easy from there. And that is a race victory and our first ever race at the circuit, Road Atlanta, race 1 complete. So yeah, the first one, American FR Challenge 550, now complete. 37,000 credits, the prize for that one. We move on to the second race then, and it is the race of turbo sports cars. 5 laps here at Road Atlanta, and this time we have the Toyota Yaris, the Australia liveried one that we got way back at the start of the game for, was it pre-ordering the game or for the anniversary edition? I can't remember exactly what it was that rewarded us with this car, but regardless, it was for one of those things. Anyway, yeah, we immediately make our way up into P15, so hopefully we should be able to find our way through the field relatively quickly. This car has been heavily upgraded. It's quite quick now, so hopefully this race shouldn't be too difficult. We have a bit of an off there. This car is a little bit wild. It's a bit of a handful through the corners. It's I wouldn't say it's necessarily snappy, it's just a bit, I don't know, not particularly cooperative, we'll just put it that way. It's, yeah, understeery, and yeah, you have to sort of fight with it a little bit, but yeah, it's more on, I guess, on the understeer side, more than oversteer, which is my personal preference. I'm not so good with oversteer. But anyway, we are making our way through the field alright so far. We're up into P14, so you know, on average we need to pass 3 cars a lap. We've got 2 so far, with a few corners left on this lap and a couple of cars in front of us, so hopefully we'll be able to grab one more place by the end of this one. We do not find a way through quite yet, so we'll see if we can make our way around the outside. Nope, we'll go to the inside, and we'll finally make that pass and make the move. We've got 3 cars right in front of us already, and we're going to make the move to the inside and try and gain a couple of places here, and move ourselves up and into P11. So a couple of nice moves there, and we'll make another one up into the top 10, and it's a nice whole bunch of moves. We couldn't quite take P10 there though, and we'll remain in 11th position for a bit longer. We have to push the 10th place runner for a while, and then we'll see if we can make the move once again. You can see we're not quite as strong through the corners. The straight lines are definitely where this car shines, so we need to make the most of that. So yeah, you can see even along this fairly short straight gaining masses of time. So yeah, it's very, very good for that. Unfortunately, this track seems to have a lot of corners in the first half of the lap, so it's a bit of a struggle, but now we can really put the power down and accelerate away and up into 9th position. A while later we catch up to the top 8, and we'll see if we can make our way through, barging our way down the inside there on the slide, but we managed to catch it there and move ourselves up into P7 now. On towards the end of lap 3, and we have 3 cars in front of us now. We'll try and get down the inside of the final corner, and we'll make the move. Stick, bit of contact there, and we'll still manage to get the run, and we may be able to pass all 3 of them along the run towards the first corner down the inside, and the Supra there managing to get back around the outside, but we'll have the horsepower up the hill as we'll look to the right to get the move done down the inside, and we'll muscle our way through and up into P4. We're almost at the end of lap 4 then, about to start the final lap, and we're making the move around the outside to get onto the podium. We can't quite get it done though. We'll switch to the inside, and we'll find our way through as we start the final lap of the race. 2 cars left in front of us, so let's see if we can make these two last overtakes. We've gotten through the field fairly quickly, so I imagine we'll be able to get this done, but the leaders just changed hands, so this may be a little more difficult than it seems, because the new race leader might be quick. We'll see. We can't get the move done there, and we actually brake quite harder than we needed to, and that's made this next section a little more difficult than it needed to be, and we've just made things very awkward there for ourselves, slowing down too much for a lot of those corners, and they've gained a whole bunch of time. They're a long way ahead of us now, so all of a sudden we've got a lot of work to do in what is realistically about 5 corners. So let's hope we can get through there well. Unfortunately, we missed the apex there completely. We can't afford to be throwing away time like that, but we do thankfully have a clear run at them now as the straight line speed builds. This has been our strength, so hopefully that continues to be the case, even against the race leader. So here we go then, down towards the chicane. We're too far back to make an overtake here, so it's going to have to be the final corner. Or can we go for the lunge down the inside? We're going to go full send, but we go slightly too deep. It doesn't quite work for us, and we can't get the move done. But they get a bad exit. We're going to switch to the inside, and we're going to find our way through down the inside, and we'll muscle our way through, sliding wide, but we'll cross the line first. The line coming up very early there, thankfully, and that helps us hold on. Otherwise, that might have been a poor exit from the corner. But nonetheless, we get the job done. And that's a hard-fought race victory there, having to go full send on the final lap to get that one done. But we did, thankfully. And we can now move on to the final of the 3 races. It's the Group 1 Prototype Series, a 30-minute race here at Road Atlanta, and as I've recently found out, the perfect car for this series is the McLaren F1 car. So that is exactly what we are going to use. Unfortunately, unlike the first 2, this was not a first try thing. It took me many attempts, but on this attempt I managed to get myself a penalty straight away, so that wasn't fun. But anyway, the overtaking begins on the back straight, where the real strength of this car lies. Being a Formula 1 car, you would think the strength would be in the corners, but I guess being dated, it is all about the power, and not so much the downforce. The downforce was more just to keep it on the road and stop it flying off into the atmosphere, rather than actually helping it through the corners. But anyway, we continue to push on, and you can see along the straights we can just fly past everyone else, and then we're still good enough through the corners to hold on. And the great thing about this car is tyre wear, even on the racing soft tyres, just does not exist. It just doesn't happen. So we are absolutely fine. We can push as hard as we want, and we will not have to worry about tyre wear at all. So that is good as we make the move down the inside. Bit of contact there as we barge our way through. And yeah, that was a bit of an awkward moment. But regardless, with all of these overtakes we're making, we're already into the top 10, which is a great opening phase of this race. And yeah, it's going fairly nicely so far. So we continue to push on, and you can see we're continuing to gain ground along every straight. We've got another car right in front of us, another 2 actually, and we'll grab both of those before I even have a chance to finish the sentence. So that is just how rapidly we are climbing through the field, and we're up now into P6. So yeah, this car is ridiculously good for this class of racing. I was really having trouble with these Group 1 prototype races until I discovered that you could enter this McLaren F1 car in. But running out of fuel on the way into pit lane there, slight issue, but anyway, we're able to coast our way in, and thankfully it was all good in the end. And now we can refuel, new set of tyres on, and we get going once again for more racing. I think we don't have the best fuel economy in the field, but I don't think that's going to become a huge issue for us. We just need to save a little bit, extend the stint as long as we can. I don't think we'll need to make too many pit stops, so we'll see how it goes. But anyway, we continue to push on then, and well, out of pit lane, we have dropped down all the way into P19, so that kind of shows that you know, we got jumped by basically everyone. We'll start to fight our way through the field straight away. Bit of contact made there as we get a bit sideways on the exit of the left-hander, but we'll make the move down the inside and move ourselves up long before the corner and up into P17. So the climb back through the field begins as we start to sort of find our place in this race once again. I think in terms of track position, I guess the damage has been done now, and oh my goodness, we had nowhere to go there. Had to take to the grass to get past that lot who were all running side by side. But anyway, we're able to make the most of that and still gain all of those positions up into P12 now. But yeah, you know, we've passed these cars again now after the pit stop, so you know, we're genuinely back ahead of them, which is what we want, and we won't have to worry about them again for the rest of the race now, in theory. So hopefully that is how things play out as more pit stops are made and more overtakes as well. And now we're scrapping away a little bit for this one as we made a bit of a mess of first sector, but regardless, we've found our way back inside the top 10 as we continue to fight our way through up into P7, and we'll soon be able to grab P6. We've got the Sauber Mercedes in front of us at the moment. We'll make the move down the inside, bit of contact as they did not see us coming there, and we're going to keep this fight going all the way through, and we'll eventually get the move done and move ourselves up into P6 with more overtakes being made along the straight, easy peasy, up into the top 5 now. So yeah, we are really blazing along nicely in this one. Another overtake incoming down the inside of the final corner. It was a little bit hairy there, wasn't sure if we were going to be left the room, but we managed to get through. Deciding to push on here despite fuel being low. We're just going to sort of take the risk at this point, lifting and coasting, and hopefully if we lift and coast enough, that will help us get to the end. We take the race lead though, which is an important step in this race, so you know, I want to make sure we can you know, constantly reclaim the lead by the time we get back to the pit lane, which is part of why I wanted to push on and you know, prove that we're still in that contention. So yeah, we get back to pit lane, and once again we are basically out of fuel, and we refill all the way to the top, and that is done. We get going once again, and well, let's see what the next stint brings. We do need to pit quite a lot in this race, given that it's only half an hour. We are coming in at quite regular intervals, but yeah, the fuel economy, as just mentioned, I don't think is this car's strong suit. But regardless, it is been a very good car for us throughout this race so far. In fact, we're still in the race lead. So as we make an absolute mess of the opening sector there, and we've found ourselves a penalty for cutting pit lines there. But yeah, we've basically confirmed ourselves in the race lead now, as we're just fighting through lap cars, and that's really it for the rest of the race. Just lap cars and pit stops, as you know, no one else is really in contention. We do run out of fuel on the way to pit lane one time, but that won't really become a huge issue for us because we have a sizable lead. We're able to just roll all the way in, and once again fill up with fuel and get ready for the next stint, which of course is going to be another full tank of fuel, another soft set of tyres, and again you can see we haven't used any of these tyres. I don't know how we're going through an entire tank of fuel and not using the tyres up at all. I don't know. I didn't actually look at the wear rates of this race, how quickly the fuel depletion and tyre wear rates, what they are relative to each other for this event. But I suspect that fuel depletion is much higher than tyre wear, because we are getting nothing in terms of tyre wear. But anyway, we've actually dropped down into second after that pit stop, but it surely won't be long before we retake the lead. In fact, we're about to do it right away, so in a matter of less than 5 seconds we will get back into the lead and we overtake the distance down the inside. We'll get the job done, and we're back into the race lead once again here at Road Atlanta. We have a penalty to serve, and it's going to be inconsequential for us really, because you'll see the time we lose is basically nothing, and the Nissan that we just passed is still absolutely nowhere near us, so it's of no concern to us, even if we do get a handful of small penalties here and there. So yeah, we continue to push on. We come in for what will be our final stop in fast forward, because we've seen this cutscene enough times. As you can see, it is getting dark though, as we now emerge for the final time, and it's actually now the end of the race, as the timer has hit 0. We've run out of fuel as well, 0.2 of a lap left, but we'll cross the line to take a race victory here. This one was a pretty difficult race to put together, took a lot of concentration not to make any mistakes, but in the end we come home pretty convincingly. In fact, we were the only ones to start the final lap, so yeah, that is always a nice little bonus when you can do that. The timer hit 0 between when we started the final lap and when second place finished the lap they were on. But anyway, with that done, all that's left to do is have a little read of this menu book. We have one for Renault, so yeah, let's take a little look at this. Congratulations, you have got all 3 cars. This completes your Renault collection. Once you've collected your presents, I've got some stories to tell you about these cars. As always, I think he says that exact line after every menu, extra menu. But anyway, there we have it. We get a 6-star roulette ticket, which is awesome. So here we go, collection Renault. These 3 cars are produced by Renault, a French manufacturer with a long history of rally and track racing. This is a wonderful collection that really celebrates Renault's motorsport history. The company was founded by Louis Renault and his brothers. Louis is perhaps best known for inventing the direct drive system, a kind of prototype FR system of the period. This system was fitted in a car known as a Voiturette, which became a huge hit. In the early 20th century, Renault succeeded in expanding rapidly all over the world. The company's founder, Louis Renault, soon got into motor racing, along with his brother, Marcel. Cars produced by Louis were performing well wherever they were raced. And indeed, a Renault car won the first ever French Grand Prix in 1906. In 1926, Renault set a spectacular 24-hour speed record in a special car based on a production model. The company's habit of competing at the very top of the motorsport world continued after Louis' death. And Renault's current cars all live and breathe this legacy. The boxy appearance of this R8 Gordini belies its radical nature. It featured a high-performance engine designed by Amédée Gordini, a French engineer known as the Sorcerer. Renault also took the rallying world by storm. Indeed, this R5 Turbo is one of the most iconic rally cars of all time, designed specifically to win the WRC. It took a front-wheel drive mass-market car and converted it to a midship rear-wheel drive monster. It has fat tyres that allows it to maintain grip on corners and a notably wide body. This Renault Clio V6 is actually known as the modern-day successor of the R5 Turbo. It's based on the front-wheel drive Clio's body and fitted with a 3-litre V6 engine. The Clio V6 is used for track racing, including in one-make races organised by Renault. Renault have a particular gift for producing surprisingly powerful sports models of their more compact cars. Driving them requires a certain amount of skill, but once you get the hang of it, they're a great deal of fun. And that is going to do it for this one. All we have left to do is to spin that roulette ticket. While I do that, I'll say thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. I really do appreciate it. Feel free to give me some feedback in the comments. It is always very helpful. Let's see what we get from this 6-star roulette ticket. And that'll be the last thing for the video. No money prizes at all on offer, so we're going to get something kind of unique, I guess. And it is going to be a carbon propeller shaft for a Jaguar F-Type R. Not for sale, so at least it's something unique. Alright, I'll see you next time.